When the CEO finally arrived, the entire office snapped to attention. Karen, ever the opportunist, immediately rushed to greet him, eager to impress. She had no idea that this wasn't just a routine visit. The CEO had come armed with information, and he wasn't in the mood for games. As Karen began her overly rehearsed speech about the team's progress under her management, he stopped her mid-sentence. His calm but firm demeanor sent chills through the room. Karen looked confused, then nervous, as he mentioned he had come to address a matter of serious concern. Meanwhile, Ava sat frozen at her desk, her heart racing. She didn't know her father had already gathered statements from a few brave co-workers willing to speak up. The tension was palpable, but just as it seemed Karen's arrogance might finally catch up with her, something unexpected happened. Karen, sensing she was in trouble, tried to pin the blame for any issues squarely on Ava. The room fell silent, all eyes on the CEO, as Karen's lies threatened to escalate the situation even further. Karen's attempt to deflect blame onto Ava backfired instantly. The CEO raised his hand to stop her mid-sentence, his expression shifting from calm to sharp. "That's enough," he said, his voice firm but measured. "Before you say another word, I think it's time we address the truth." The entire office watched stunned as he turned to the team and asked, "Has anyone here witnessed unprofessional behavior or mistreatment in this workplace?" At first, the room was silent. Then, one by one, Ava's colleagues began to speak up. Mia was the first, her voice trembling but steady as she recounted Karen's repeated unfair treatment of Ava. Others followed, sharing stories of Karen's insults, unrealistic demands, and favoritism. Karen's confident facade cracked as she realized her lies weren't holding up. The CEO then revealed the twist that stunned everyone. He had been investigating Karen for weeks after noticing a pattern of complaints from Ava and others. He turned to Karen and said, "Not only have you failed to lead with integrity, but your actions have created a toxic environment. Effective immediately, your employment is terminated." As Karen sputtered, trying to justify herself, the CEO added a final blow. "And for the record, Ava is my daughter. But this decision has nothing to do with her being family. It's about doing what's right." The room erupted into applause as Karen, defeated, gathered her belongings and left in silence. Ava, overwhelmed with relief, thanked her co-workers for standing up for her. But the CEO wasn't finished. He addressed the team, promising to create a healthier, more inclusive workplace. Ava's resilience and her father's unwavering sense of justice had not only exposed Karen's behavior, but also sparked a positive change for everyone in the company. With Karen gone, the office felt lighter, almost like a weight had been lifted. The team rallied around Ava, offering words of encouragement and apologizing for not speaking up sooner. Ava, grateful but humble, reassured them that their support during the CEO's visit had meant everything to her. The CEO kept his word and immediately implemented changes to improve the workplace culture. He introduced new policies to ensure fairness and opened lines of communication so employees could feel safe voicing their concerns. Ava, meanwhile, was promoted to a leadership role, a decision based on her talent and hard work, not just her connection to the CEO. Looking back, Ava realized the experience had made her stronger. It wasn't easy standing up against injustice, but she learned that resilience and the right allies can make all the difference. As she walked into the office the next day, she knew this was a fresh start for her and everyone around her. In today's story, we're diving into a shocking workplace drama that will leave you speechless. It starts with a hard-working employee, Ava, a young Black woman who's passionate about her job and determined to succeed. But her dreams take a hit when she crosses paths with Karen, her new manager. Karen is condescending, cruel, and doesn't hide her bias. She goes out of her way to humiliate Ava in front of the entire office, constantly undermining her efforts and questioning her abilities. What Karen doesn't know, however, is that Ava has a secret weapon, a powerful ally who happens to be her father and the company's CEO. When the truth comes out, justice is served in a way no one saw coming. Stay tuned as we unravel this intense story of injustice, resilience, and a satisfying twist that will leave you cheering for Ava. Ava had always been a star employee, dependable, hardworking, and full of fresh ideas. Her colleagues admired her, but Karen, her new manager, seemed to take an instant dislike to her. At first, Ava thought it was just a tough management style, but it quickly became clear that Karen's actions were personal. She would nitpick Ava's work, assign her impossible tasks, and make snide remarks disguised as constructive feedback. The office started to notice, but no one dared to stand up to Karen. She had a reputation for being intimidating, and everyone knew she was tight with the company's higher-ups. Ava felt trapped, unsure of how to fight back without jeopardizing her career. What made it worse was Karen's smug confidence. She acted as if she was untouchable. Little did she know, Ava's father was silently watching everything unfold, biding his time to step in and set things right. As the days went by, Karen's behavior toward Ava grew worse. She started calling her out in meetings, often blaming her for mistakes that weren't even her fault. Ava tried to stay professional, but the constant humiliation was starting to take a toll on her confidence. She couldn't understand why Karen had singled her out. She'd always gone above and beyond in her work. Was it because of her race? Her talent? Ava couldn't shake the feeling that Karen's actions weren't just about her performance. Meanwhile, Ava's co-workers began to notice the unfair treatment. A few whispered words of support to her in private, but no one dared to challenge Karen openly. Ava's closest friend at the office, Mia, encouraged her to report Karen to HR. But Ava hesitated. What if they didn't believe her? What if speaking up made things worse? Unbeknownst to Karen, Ava's father had been quietly keeping tabs on the situation. A proud and protective parent, he taught Ava to stand up for herself, but also knew the importance of timing. He was waiting for the right moment to step in, determined to teach Karen a lesson she'd never forget. Ava had no idea her father was watching, and that her story was about to take a dramatic turn. Ava decided she couldn't take it anymore. After another grueling day where Karen publicly belittled her in front of the team, she went home feeling defeated. That night, she poured her heart out to her father, finally sharing everything she'd been enduring. At first, she hesitated. She wanted to handle this on her own, to prove her strength. But her father listened intently, his expression growing darker with every word. He didn't interrupt, but Ava could tell her story had struck a nerve. The next morning, Ava walked into the office determined to confront Karen, even if it meant risking her job. But Karen was already in rare form. She'd sent Ava an email demanding she stay late to redo a project, one that had been perfectly fine just hours earlier. Karen smirked as Ava read the email, clearly enjoying her power trip. What Karen didn't know was that Ava's father, the company's CEO, had scheduled an impromptu visit to the office. He was on his way, and he wasn't coming to observe quietly. Tension filled the air as Karen continued to strut around, oblivious to the storm brewing. Everyone in the office could feel that something was about to happen, but no one knew just how explosive it would be. As Ava struggled through the day, doing her best to meet Karen's impossible demands, a quiet buzz began to ripple through the office. Whispers of the CEO's unexpected visit spread quickly, and everyone's nerves were on edge. Karen, however, seemed unfazed. She even joked about how she cleaned up the team just in time, giving Ava a pointed glare as if to claim credit for her so-called leadership.